The centre of Norwich boasts a remarkable number of ancient buildings. The castle, the cathedral, numerous churches, even alehouses dating back 750 years. But right here in the centre, next to the marketplace, is one of England's most elaborate medieval city halls. In 1404, Henry IV introduced a charter of incorporation to Norwich, granting special privileges to the city and raising its importance to a new level. Crucially, the charter gave Norwich city status. The Guildhall was built mainly between 1404 and 1413 and has had many uses over those 600 years, one of which of course has been as a prison and a courthouse. Let's first of all go and have a look at some of the prison cells. The Guildhall was used as a prison and as a courtroom, and to service the courts above there was a need to have cells. This 19th century developed cell, which is 6 foot by 3 foot, is extremely bare. There is virtually no facilities, just somewhere to park yourself, no bucket, no nothing else. A lot of graffiti adorns the walls. It's a very small space, and you can imagine it would have been quite daunting for people who were brought here as the door was slowly slammed behind them. And so the route that the prisoners would take would be through that doorway and up these stairs, leading them into the courtroom, ready to face the judge. And when the prisoners arrived here in the courtroom, or the assembly room as it's known, this is what they would have faced. The judge seated right here. They would have been led into the dock over on the judge's right-hand side, so that he may look upon them and decide their fate. We now see it set up as it was, late Victorian courtroom, complete with the figure of justice, ironically without the scales, which were stolen. So from the late Victorian times right up until the 1990s, this room was used by the magistrates as a court. The magistrates' assistants, perhaps solicitors, barristers, may well be seated here. General public and other members of the solicitors' forces may well be seated at these ones. And in here, the defendant, no doubt flanked by an officer or two, looking straight up at the judge. It's all a bit intimidating. The second room here on the first floor at the Guildhall is this, the council chamber or mayoral court. And it was originally built and designed for meetings of the 24 aldermen or senior councillors of the mayor's council. Many of the fittings are 16th and 18th century, and it was right here that the council meetings were held all the way through to 1938, when the new city hall was opened and everyone moved just 50 metres across the road. Like many of the medieval buildings in this fine city, there is an undercroft, and the Guildhall is no exception. This dungeon was used to house the more dangerous criminals up until the 17th century. There is graffiti on the walls, a heart within a heart. There's a boat just on this section here, dates of which are unknown. But this is where they would have been shackled, and it's really quite a daunting, cold place. So that's just a short glimpse at the Guildhall, a building that's been here for 600 years and has had many, many occupants. The current tenants are Cayley's Cafe and the Norwich Heritage and Economic Regeneration Trust, HEART. But it's had many, many uses over the years. It is a building of great significance to this city and just another little gem that is certainly worth exploring.